Okay, everybody, let's go ahead and get started. Just a couple minutes after the hour here. I'm sure that some other people will join. We'll let them join in. If you have questions, feel free to hit me up in the chat. I'm happy to answer the questions kind of in the order that I see them there in the chat. But let's go ahead and get started. So this is a demo of GetRealtor.ai. It's a platform that's built by realtors for realtors and implements AI in their business. Let's go to a little bit about me. So my name is Alan Walker. I live in Salt Lake City, married with some Frenchies. I've been a real estate agent for 7 years. I've been an investor for 8. I've got a background in software development and have done plenty of transactions, flips. We've got rentals. Love all things real estate, all things technology, and that's really why I came up with this platform. So let me start off talking a little bit about what happened in the last, say, 18 months in real estate. If you've been in the Salt Lake market, and I anticipate it's in most markets, there's been a real slowdown in the last 12 to 18 months. And I found myself having a real problem when it came to my real estate business. Leads were a lot harder to come by, and there were also less deals happening. So in my market in 2023 compared to 2022, there were about 19.3% less homes sold. So that's less transactions, which means you're fighting harder and harder for the same business as anybody that's still around. And I was determined not to leave the business even through rough times. And so I had to kind of come up with some solutions. So one of the issues that I really had was too many systems in my business. I had social media scheduling, social media ads. I had my website. I had my CRM. I had all of these different systems, and they all work slightly differently. And it was difficult to keep track of everything. And I felt like I was spending my days doing busy work, just these manual things that needed to happen in the business, instead of actually focusing on dollar producing activities, which we all know as realtors is the number one thing we need to be focused on. So I had to figure out what was going on. And I got to a point where I felt like working harder and longer, that wasn't getting me where I needed to be. Something had to change in order for me to actually take my business to the next level and really survive any storm. And I knew that it had to be some kind of technology. I'm a solo agent. I have run teams in the past. And we only eat what we kill, right, as realtors. And so I knew that there had to be something that wasn't another person that could help me with this. And so I really looked into AI as the solution to jumpstart my business and get it back where it needed to be. So I want to take a moment first and talk a little bit about AI and the internet. There are a lot of parallels between the two. So AI is something that is going to affect every business in ways we can't even imagine right now, right? So I liken it to, I'm old enough to actually be pre-internet. And I remember back in 1996, this was Yahoo. And if you ask somebody what the internet was back in 1996, they would say it's email and it's like community boards. And you could do some web surfing and that was it. But that really was the extent of our knowledge of the internet at the mainstream. And really that's all we knew it could do. And as we've seen over the last, 20 some odd years, or I guess almost 30 years, we have changed everything about our lives. Now, in 1996, we didn't get smartphones until 2007, right? And so things have evolved in a way that is so unrecognizable from 1996. And that is very much what AI is going to be doing. So, when the internet first came out, it had been around for a long time before mainstream started adopting it, right? So in the 70s, it was used by US military, top universities. It was very technical. You had to really understand technology. It wasn't easy to access. Here's a fun fact, 1985 AOL launches. So most people that experienced AOL did not experience it in the 80s, but it was around for about 10 years before it really took off. And that in 1995 is really when you started seeing mainstream adoption of the internet, and more people started using it. And so now we have, we can't even remember what it's like. Our internet goes out at work and everyone stops working, right? If you're in your brokerage and the internet goes out, it's like people just start walking around because we can't live without the internet. We can't work without the internet. And that is really where I see AI happening as well. AI is not new. AI has been around, and in fact, it's been around, depending on who you ask, since the 50s. But I just want to focus on more of the last like 30 to 40 years. So the internet, just like the internet was coming around in the 1990s, like machine learning was what most people were calling it, and it was extremely technical, right? So like Google came out in 1990. It was like big companies were using machine learning. And then in the 2000s, algorithms started becoming used in businesses on a really large scale. Again, an algorithm is also artificial intelligence. So that's where we saw Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all of these businesses came out, and algorithms and that business AI was really what was driving them. So then in the 2010s, we started to see more and more expansion of like neural networks and huge data sets. And we started looking at like speech and image recognition. You know, that Siri came out in 2011. If you remember Siri, she was not great when she first came out. It was like beta for like 2 years. And I think, you know, we're still evolving on that front. But as we moved into the 2020s, we started to see ChatGPT become this like behemoth, and everybody kind of asks themselves like, how is this around? It's like everywhere all of a sudden. Well, the reality was it was slowly building to be everywhere. So it's been around for decades. It's just that now we as consumers and as small business owners, we can actually use AI in our business, right? So that's really kind of the genesis of AI. Now, I do want to talk about AI. AI is more than just ChatGPT. Most people use those two terms interchangeably, right? They say if you've got, if you're talking about AI, it's ChatGPT, and that's not actually true. So AI can be chatbots, AI can be automation, AI can be onboarding, it can be product support, you can do videos for marketing and training, you can automate your marketing follow-up, you can do cold lead gen. I mean, there's so many things that you can do with AI. And the number one problem that realtors have when it comes to AI is all of us want to use it and we have no idea how to. And so some of us have, you know, like you've seen the courses of like go to ChatGPT and do these things. That's all great. What I realized was if I was going to use it and I was going to help other realtors use it, then I had to build some predefined functions that could already work for realtors. So that it wasn't like a realtor scratching their head saying like, I don't really know what to do with AI, but I know I have to use it. It's definitely the future. And that was really what drove me to creating this system. So I think I skipped a screen. Yeah. So there are three main ways that realtors can use AI in their business. The first is lead generation, of course, right? Like everybody knows we're in the business of selling homes and we're in the business of lead generation. Content generation is the second. I don't know about you, but it feels like I have to be a constant social media content producer now. I'm always having to put out stuff. I always have to come up with new things to talk about or videos. So content generation has been a really big area, I think, that's helping realtors with AI. And then thirdly, automating processes. So I've run teams in the past. Right now, I'm a solo agent. I have flips, I have rentals, I have my realtor clients and my agency work, and I don't really want to bring on more people. And so the way that we can all do that as realtors is we can automate our processes. So if we can automate our processes, then we still get the things done which are required, but we're not taking nearly as much time doing them. And so we can focus on those dollar producing activities. And that's really what it's all about right now in real estate. So let's talk a little bit about AI lead generation. So there are a few different things built into the system that is helpful. The first is AI appointment setters. This is probably the number one thing that realtors can use AI for. So if you scan that with your phone, it will take you to the getrealtor.ai site, and you can enter in your information, and it'll initiate the bot so that you can start to have a conversation with the AI and see just how human it sounds. there's not much that it can do that's going to indicate that it's some kind of bot, right? It actually sounds just like a human. It'll react to what you're talking about. It'll restate what you said. This is not like a canned response thing. This is actually having a conversation. And then it'll ask you to book an appointment. So you can use that to book an appointment if you want to chat with me one-on-one, or you can just go through the process so you understand what it looks like. And the best thing about it is it's completely customizable to your business. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what types of homes you sell. It doesn't matter if it's commercial. It doesn't matter if it's residential. All of that can be configured for you by you inside the system. Now, some of the cross-channel messaging that I wanted to talk about is it comes with ringless voicemails. A little bit later in the presentation, I'm going to talk more about all these subscriptions that I had that I was able to get rid of once I built this system. And one of them was ringless voicemail, right? Like ringless voicemail, super useful. It always was an additional thing I had to get. Most of my CRMs that I've used haven't had it in it. Facebook Messenger is another one. So having conversations with people and doing automations and AI appointment setting through Facebook Messenger or through Instagram DM or through WhatsApp. You can also obviously have email campaigns, email marketing, text campaigns, text marketing. It's got a built-in dialer. So really you can use this. My whole goal with this system is that it can be your main hub. It doesn't have to be, but it's everything you need. It's a realtor business in a box with AI enabled, ready to go. Now, calendaring is another one. So, a lot of people have Calendly. This allows you to have unlimited calendars. So you can have a calendar for every single team member. You can have a calendar that is like a, maybe you do user events or you do like open houses, anything like that. You can have separate calendars for each one of those. And you have separate URLs. And so you can book those separately and send them out. So I personally, I run everything for Get Realtor AI and my real estate business, Origin Real Estate here in Utah. I run both of those completely through this system. And so having different calendars for buyers and sellers, different calendars for talking with people that are interested in participating in the affiliate program or participating on the platform. So having all that flexibility is really, really helpful and useful as we start building things out. Now, let's talk about the second thing. So content generation is not just, everyone's like, oh yeah, you can go to ChatGPT and like type in this stuff and it'll create an ebook for you or whatever. The reality is that like ChatGPT, which is integrated 100% into the system, it's only going to get you about 80% of the way there. And so the system is built that if you're creating website pages, landing pages, open house pages, listing descriptions, if you're creating any kind of sales funnels for your Facebook ads or anything like that, any of your social media posts, all of that has ChatGPT enabled from the start. And so when you're in there and you're doing the work, you just press a content AI button and it'll say, okay, great, tell me what you want. And it'll produce different variations for you. So you can say, hey, I want 4 different variations of this description, and then see which one you like, right? So all of that is built in and you can use it without going anywhere. It's just like, I'm already on the page that I'm updating. Just let's use AI right here, update that page. And then also AI business automation. So here's the other thing. So I've got a ton of pre-built automations in here for realtors, right? Like, so I've got everything from like, your appointment reminders, your appointment confirmations. We can set up things like open house plans that have any kind of automation in it. We can use the AI automation to make sure that like your Facebook audiences are always updated. So if you update something in the CRM, it'll automatically update it there. Maybe you have a different provider for some other service, you can make sure it gets updated there. So you've got some pre-built automations right out of the gate. You can build your own using a really simple drag and drop builder, or we've partnered with real estate bots and you can outsource any kind of custom automation that you want inside the system to them and they can do it for you. So really you don't have to be super technical to take advantage of this automation. There are ways that you can, just say, hey, this is what I want, and have someone pay someone to just put that in the system for you and it's ready to go. Now, here's another thing that I wanted to bring up, and that is that I was really sick of dealing with limits, like everything was a per seat charge or a per account charge. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that because I find it annoying. And if I find it annoying, I know you other realtors find it annoying. And so what I decided to do is I built the system so that there's one subscription. You can have as many team members in there as you want, as many contacts, as many calendars. You can create as many websites and funnels, add all sorts of different domains to it. You can have an unlimited amount of social accounts. All of that stuff comes standard. And the reason for that is because I know how like difficult and tricky it is. And I don't, if I start to grow my company, that's a great thing, but I don't want to be penalized by my system and say, oh, well, now I've got so-and-so that's my transaction coordinator, so I've got to like pay more money every month. I don't want to do any of that. So it's just a one monthly fee. You can use it for everything that you need. You know, I have run multiple businesses in my account. So like I'll have my real estate agency website, but then I'll also have like my wholesaling website, or I'll have my flipping website. So there's a lot of different things that you can do. You can run all of that. Each one of those sites has a different domain, right? So it's not like they're all sitting under the same domain. So you can get really flexible with what it is that you're doing inside of the system. So these were some of the things that I got to replace. And this was so important to me in building this system out because I was tired of paying so many monthly fees. So this system has reputation and review management. So it will send out the review requests. It will link it to the Google My Business page. It does all of that automated. You can do video reviews. You can do just written reviews. It'll send out emails. It'll send out texts. So I had another service that I was previously using to do all that stuff because I wanted it to feel professional. And sometimes when you're trying to like build it from scratch, it feels a little wonky. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but sometimes I'm just like, oh, this just feels a little like a little bit DIY, and I want my business to feel professional at every touch point, right? Social media scheduling was another one. So I was paying $50 a month for a social media scheduler, and the social media scheduler that comes naturally inside your account on this platform. It allows you to post to TikTok, LinkedIn, Google My Business, Facebook groups, Facebook pages, Instagram. So and Twitter, you've got everything that you need to run all of your social media. Now, if you have seen my posts on Facebook or anywhere, I have been using this social media scheduler to post all of that. So I've actually am very rarely on those social networks. I post a lot, and then I can look and see if there's comments or something, and I can respond to those. But I don't like spend a ton of time. Like, you know, I do all my content generation in one sitting per month, and I schedule all of it out using the social media scheduler. Now, accepting payments. A lot of us have side gigs, right? So this is, you know, a side gig for my realtor business. So a lot of us do side gigs, and I wanted to be able to have a system that would accept payment. And so this system integrates directly into Stripe, and it will process payments for you, and you can do refunds through it. You can set up product pages in the system. So it's very user-friendly. It's very robust. It also has pipelines for sales and current transactions and moving people through a process. So I use it for like tracking my transactions. Like, are they in due diligence? Are they in financing and appraisal? Are we outside of that and waiting to close? Is it actually closed? So you can build all of that in, and I've actually built that into the system by default, and then you can make tweaks as needed. And then the reporting was another one that I really wanted to make sure that I was getting rid of. Like, again, I had reporting, but it was kind of difficult, and I was trying to track it in a Google sheet, and it took too much time, and it wasn't giving me the information I needed. This tool comes with a built-in reporting suite. So you're going to see all your Facebook ad reporting, all your Google reporting. You can Google, or you can track your agents, you can track your calls, you can track your appointments. All of that's already built in. It's one interface. You can click through it right out of the box. Very easy to understand. So those were some of the things that I was able to get rid of just by like using this system instead of trying to use all these other subscriptions. And then I also wanted to talk a little bit about integrations. I am I do not believe every site or like there is one product that will fit perfectly and do everything you want it to do. That feels like folly, right? I'm not proposing that. I still use Facebook Messenger. I still use Google for my email and my calendars. I still use Zapier. I use QuickBooks in my business. So I integrated all of these into it so that like I'm not trying to rebuild stuff that already works and most people are already using, right? I don't want to build QuickBooks, but I did want it to be integrated with the system so that I could still track everything in the same place, right? So another thing that's important is you don't have to use our CRM. A lot of people have a lot of emotions about their CRM, right? Love, hate, whatever. We spend a ton of time as realtors in our CRMs. And so I am not here to say, in order to use all this great functionality, you have to use our CRM. That's pointless. Maybe you have great follow-up campaigns that are already set up in your CRM. You don't want to take the time to move everything over. I get that. I don't want you to do that either. So we can connect your CRM with Zapier to the CRM that's in the system, so you can still use the appointment setter bots, you can still do all your social scheduling, you can still reach out to clients via text or whatever you like. So we can build that for you. You don't have to use the CRM. We want you to use as much as makes sense for you. For a lot of solo agents, it makes more sense to have everything in one place, but that doesn't mean you have to, right? That's a really important point because I don't want you to get rid of something that's already working and that's working to the level that you want it to. I've built a system that I think will work with all of these functionalities together in a much smoother way. And that's really my goal with the platform. So I want to talk a little bit about support. So I am, even though I know technology, that does not mean that I know everything that I need to do all the time, right? So I have a 24/7 live chat support that's on call for you when you're in the system. I've got help articles, I've got product tours. Really, I just want it to be, this is a set up your own business system, right? Like it's a software as a service. So you're going to go in and you're going to create your websites and you're going to create your contacts and you're going to decide what you want to do for follow-up. Now we have partners that can help you with all of that. You don't have to do it yourself. But if you are going to do it yourself, I wanted you to have something. I can't tell you how many times I have been like, heads down, trying to get something fixed in one of my systems. And then someone needs to go to a showing, or then there's a sales appointment that pops up out of nowhere, or one of my transaction folks needs to talk to me really badly. And I get pulled away, right? And then I forget where I was at. So that is going to continue to happen. I don't anticipate that changing. But with this, it makes it easy because like if I can like, oh, I was in the middle of doing this. Now I can't remember how I'm actually supposed to. I can just chat with someone live and say, hey, tell me how to do this, right? The support's not there to do it for you. The support is there so that you can say, oh, I'm trying to do this. I don't know how. They can say, this is how you do it. And then you could go on your way and continue with your business. All right. So let's take some time now and actually look at the system. I know I've talked a ton about all the things that are in it. It can feel a little overwhelming. So I want to show you just how easy it is to actually use the system. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to click on my screen here. So this is just a demo account, right? I just did it so that everybody could see what's going on here. Now, there's a few things that you'll notice. The dashboard is really the health ticker for your entire business. So it's going to tell you all the different opportunities and leads you have, what's in the pipeline, what's your conversion rate. You can look at all of these different pipelines that we have created for you and determine kind of what's happening inside of it. If you have tasks you need to do, they'll show up right here. This will give you a lead source report, so you always know what your most important lead sources are. So this is really like a great place just to say like a snapshot of where's my business right now. Then I want to talk through conversations. So let's say you are a rock star realtor and you have, 1,000 people in your sphere of influence. That can be really difficult to stay on top of. And so there's this conversations panel right here that anytime an unread email, an unread text, anything that comes into the system, it's going to show up here so that you know exactly who you need to comment back to. And you can see like, any recents that have been in here. Obviously, this is a demo account, so I haven't been contacting anyone. But this is really, really useful. So in my own business, I use this every day. I kind of log in the morning and I go, first off, let me see like what's unread. Are there specific emails from clients, leads, texts that somebody responded to that I need to get back to? So this is really helpful to unify everything in one place. I want to talk a little bit about calendars. So as I mentioned, you can have as many different calendars as you want. Each one of these calendars has its own URL, so you can send them out separately. So I mentioned that we integrate with Google, and one of the integrations we do is the Google Calendar. And so I use Google for everything, right? My Google Calendar. And so I don't want appointments being set on these calendars that are conflicting with something I already have going on. And so you can actually set up your external calendar right here and then link it to each individual calendar, and it will check that calendar to make sure there's no conflicts. This is really helpful when it comes to the AI booking bots, because you don't want leads to book appointments in times you can't meet with them, right? And so I set up my external calendar so that it checks and it won't book appointments for any of the leads when I'm already busy. Now, I can also say, hey, this is when I'm available. You know, I'm available Monday through Friday. I don't take appointments on the weekends. And so you just put in like your day and time, put in how long you want the meeting to be, in terms of like how often are you giving people the times on the calendar itself. So it's like 1, 1:30, 1, 2. If I change it to 60, it would be like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And then how long is the appointment going to last? I can also set like how much notice do I need before they can schedule an appointment. So I have 4 hours, because it's great to get appointments, but if you get an appointment just out of the blue in the next 20 minutes, like that's not going to be very useful for you. And so you can also say how many bookings will you allow per day, and if you need some buffer time in between them. So it's all set up. This is very similar to Calendly, but again, you don't have to pay for that. You just can do it within the system here. Now, let me talk through, let me go back here. Let me talk through calendars or contacts. So this is where you're going to spend a lot of your time, right? This is the CRM itself. And so I just have a demo person in here, but this is split up into 3 different panels. So this is all the contact information on this side. This is also where you can add them to automated workflows. You can add information, like if there are a specific opportunity, you can see this one sitting inside my buyer's pipeline. It's a new lead. Over here is going to be all of the communication that you have with them. So texts, emails, Facebook Messenger, Instagram DM, WhatsApp, whatever is happening, you're going to see it all here. Again, it's so that you have a full picture of everything that's going on with them. And then over here is, as they're doing things, say on your website, like all of that will appear right here for you. You can assign tasks for this user. You can put notes. You can add an appointment directly from the screen. So this is really the hub of like everything you need for a contact in your system is sitting right here. Let's go over to opportunities. Now, this is the pipelines that I was talking about. These are just default pipelines that are built into every system. So if you sign up today, it rolls out and you automatically have all of these ready for you. So my goal was, let's put enough stuff in here that if you have nothing, you can just plug and play and come in, right? Like it's all built here for you. You can make changes, you know, all of this stuff, you can move this stuff around. Like this is just kind of like a Trello, if anybody's familiar with Trello. So you just drag and drop things back and forth. You can create new opportunities. So it's really built to allow you to run your business. So I have pipelines in my own business. Like one is for real estate clients, one is for flips. I have pipelines for my rentals if I'm like working on specific projects for them. So I use this quite a bit for more than just my real estate transactions. I'll skip over payments for now because everyone kind of understands how payments work. And let's take a look at marketing. So this is the part where you're going to be able to do all your social media planning. You're going to be able to have your email campaigns and templates. If you have trigger links that you want to track. So here's a really kind of cool thing. So I have like, you know, different offers when it comes to this system, right? And each one of those has a different like page. And so they each have their own link. I want to track of those, which ones are getting the most clicks. And so I can go in here and I can actually create a trigger link that basically says, here's the link URL. Here's what I want you to call it. Hit save. It will generate a code for you that you put anywhere that you're sending people to. And then you have a report of like, oh, this page, this, you know, like sales page has like way more clicks on it than this other sales page. So I can A/B test and see like what's actually converting. So really, really useful. But let's go into Social Planner here. So I've just added my own personal thing in here, but I want to show you how simple it is. So these are all the different platforms that you can schedule on, right? And you can schedule on all of them at once. I mean, sometimes it will, the format's a little different, right? Like Instagram has a certain format, so you might have to change slightly for that. Twitter only allows 140 characters, so you might have to play around with that. But it's super easy. I mean, you go in, you create a new post, you choose what social accounts you want. It'll give you a preview. And if I had multiple here, there'd be multiple previews. You can type in whatever you want your content to be. You can add images, you can add videos. If you've seen me on social media, you know that I do a lot of videos. I'm putting them all right in here. Now, let me show you the content AI piece. This is the piece that's available in social posts, it's available in funnels, it's available in websites. So this button appears all throughout the system. And anytime you click it, it's going to pop open this modal and it's going to just say, okay, tell me what the title is of the content. What is the content supposed to be? What are the keywords that you want me to use in here, right? Because we're all concerned about SEO. And so we have to understand, hey, I want to have these keywords show up for me. Then you can choose like, what's your writing tone? I always laugh at this because there's a writing tone in here that's grumpy. And I just think like, who is ever going to use that tone? Like, why would you ever be creating content where I want it to sound grumpy? Here is where you can show the number of variations. So I could say, I want 5 different options here because I'm not really sure exactly what I want to say, or maybe I want to cannibalize a little bit from all of them. And then you can say, hey, like, how much am I writing? Now, if I was writing a blog, I might do something closer to 900 words, right? Or I might do large. So if I'm writing like a Facebook post, then it might be something small or medium. And so you can choose how much content you want it to produce right here within this option. And then one of the coolest things I like about it too is that you can do follow-up comments. So have you ever seen when someone posts something and then they say like, I'll post a link to some document or something in the comments? This is how you automate that. So you can just click on this and put whatever you want as the first comment. The moment it gets posted, it's going to comment and put that right there. And so again, it's a time saver for like doing more advanced social stuff. Now let's go to sites. So here are, we've got a lot of options up here, but I just want to go through them for you. So funnels, websites, blogs, forms, surveys, those are the things I use the majority of the time. So I have pre-loaded in everyone's account a bunch of sales funnels. You can see here, buyer's list, buyer seller funnel, explore properties, like all of these are already built out. And I did that because again, if you don't have anything, or if you're like, I want to put a sales funnel in place, I don't even know where to start, you can just go, great, I'm going to click on this. It's going to show me all the different funnels, all the different pages in the funnel. And really the difference between a funnel and a web page is web pages have navigation. You can go anywhere you want. Funnels are very directed. You start here, and every time you press the button to go to the next page, it goes here, then it goes here, then it goes here. So it's more meant to drive them towards a certain goal. That's typically some kind of like lead form, or, some kind of survey that you want to take for them or something along those lines. But all of that is already built in. All of these pages are ready for you. You can see that this page has a calendar on it. This is just a calendar that's showing up from one of the calendars I have. And this is a place where you could have multiple calendars. You might have a buyer's calendar and you might have a seller's calendar, just so that you know when they book an appointment there, oh, like this is a seller appointment. My preparation for a seller appointment is very different than my preparation for a buyer appointment. So that is what goes on there. Now, if I go back and I go into websites, there's a lot of people that say like, you've got to have this like smoking website. But for many of us, having just a professional looking website is enough, right? It doesn't need to be some advanced, super crazy thing. It's like, most people are going to text me if they want to talk about real estate, or maybe they're going to book with me through the AI booking bot. But like if you go to my website, it's a nice site, but it's not anything super special because I'm not trying to necessarily make my website the like crown jewel of my business. but it's necessary to have, right? People have to be able to go there. I want to post blog posts there so that I can get some SEO juice. So there's a lot of things that I do. So you can see right here, we've got a whole bunch. I think there's 12 total. So we've got full websites. We've got link tree sites that you can add on to any of your social media. We've got one-page sites. If you just want to have one long page, all of that's pre-built. So like, for example, here's the home page. And when we load this, you can go in and make changes to anything. It's all just point and click. That's it, right? So like if I wanted to change this text, I can go over here and I can say, great, I'm going to change this text to like, get in touch with me. Oh, with M. So I can change the background image, I can change the logo, I can change the navigation. I mean, everything's here though. It's like, okay, all I have to do, if I wanted to just keep this, I could just fill in my own information and I'm ready to go, right? I can change the color of things if I want to, but like, look, you've got all of these pre-built things, recent properties. I've got like tools and resources. I've got team members. You know, a lot of people are paying extra. They're going to WordPress and whatever to do all that. The hosting is covered in your subscription. All these templates are covered in your subscription. You don't have to do any of that stuff. So again, my goal is really like you can run your entire business from this tool if you want to. And if you're just starting out, this is the tool for you because you can just set everything up. I mean, if you really like hunkered down, you can get your entire business off the ground in a day or two in this easily because it's already here, right? You don't have to go out and start from scratch on anything. So now let's talk a little bit about the automation stuff. So automations are already built in. So again, this is just a demo account that's exactly like what you'll get when you sign up for a membership. So it's got the AI booking bot built in. It's got confirmation, appointment confirmations, no-shows, reminders, follow-ups. It's got internal notifications. It's got, if you're doing Facebook ads, it's got Facebook conversion API automations. You can do qualifying workflows through here. I mean, it's just on and on and on and on, right? So I'm just going to click on one of these just to kind of show you. So this is all built in, and you can change any of this or add any new ones that you want. So this is, for example, like a survey is created and it's asking buyers certain information, right? Like we've all seen these, like we want qualified people. We don't want people that don't have money. We don't want people that have terrible credit scores. And so they've taken this survey, and then you can start to branch off like, okay, well, is this their income and credit score? Yes or no? And it just, great. If it's yes, then here's all the stuff. If it's no, I don't want to work with them. And you remove the opportunity completely from your pipeline. So it goes on and on what you can do with this. I mean, it really is like as complex as you want it to be, but it doesn't have to be. Out of the box, you've already got a bunch of these. You've got a ringless voicemail drop. You've got a bi-monthly newsletter drip. All this stuff is just built in for you, and you can use it whenever you need to. And again, if you need additional assistance with this, we've contracted with partners so that they can do automations for you. We've contracted with partners so that they can do the websites for you. So everything that you need really is kind of built in. Now, one thing that I want to mention is in the next month or so, we are also adding in the ability to create and run your Facebook ads. So if you've ever run Facebook ads, you know how hard it is to actually create them, use their interface, like get them approved, all of that stuff. We are partnering with a great company called UpHex, and they have really cracked the code on this. And so it'll submit your Facebook ads. It'll show all the reporting. Everything is done for you. You can launch a Facebook ad in 20 to 30 seconds. And I'm not kidding. So I have been someone that's tried a bunch of Facebook ads, and it's so difficult to deal with them. And all of that, again, is a free service. It's part of the tool. You're not going to be charged extra for that. My whole goal here is I make this platform such a no-brainer that of course you'll want to sign up. And that's really what I'm striving for. I mean, I want to keep adding things into the system that are helpful for you as a realtor so you can go out and have a great business and not have to worry about all the inner workings. This stuff all works together. You don't need to do anything. It's ready for you whenever you are. So that's kind of what the system is. Let me hop back into the presentation here. So now that I've done the demo, I want to stop and see if anyone has any questions. Feel free to also hit it up on the meeting chat as well, if that makes more sense for you. Oh, okay, got one on the chat. John wants to know, what is the monthly cost and how do you get set up? Okay, so the monthly cost, I actually have that right on the next screen. So monthly cost is $197. There's a one-time setup fee of $197 to get everything like logged in for your account. These are all the things you're getting. You'll get the AI appointment setter, you'll get the AI automation tools, you'll get the AI content generation, the chat bot, as many sites as you want, funnels, team members, social media scheduling, reviews, CRM, all of that, $197 a month built in. I actually reduced my monthly software cost quite a bit by getting rid of all my other stuff and just doing this. So if you want to get started, you can just scan this QR code. It'll take you to the Get Realtor pricing page on the website, or you can go to getrealtor.ai and you can look at it from there as well. But really, the sign up is very straightforward. I mean, it's a recurring monthly fee. Your first time, you're going to pay the first month and that one-time setup, and then every month you'll just be charged the $197. Cancel anytime. We're not here to lock anyone into any kind of contracts or anything like that. We just think this tool is meant to allow you to run your business, right? Like, we want you to succeed as realtors, because realtors need help, especially in these times when we've got stuff coming from every angle. It's the technology that's going to allow us to flourish and continue being great realtors. So thank you for your time today. Really appreciate you joining me. Here is my information. If you want to get in touch with me, I'm happy to have a one-on-one call with you. You've got the QR code right there. Go ahead and book that for me, and we can talk and see how we can help your business. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love your feedback. I'd love to hear more of what you would like to have in the system, because my whole goal is to continue bringing value to the platform and make it so that it's easy to run your business inside of getrealtor.ai. So thanks for your time. See ya.